Everyone, we're back, and we were talking to Gabe before the break, and he was about to tell us a story about a director that wasn't cool. Gabe, hit me with that. What do you got?
Sure. Well, you already brought up the fact that I was in The Story by Zeitgeist Stage, which was directed, I probably shouldn't say his name, David Miller. And as you mentioned, it was a play that dealt with a lot of race issues. So the majority of the cast was black. Everyone in the cast had problems with him.
Was he African American?
No, he was white, a gay white man.
Okay.
Who had been spotted at clubs with his lover in leather and with a leash, but that's a side story. Anyway, so this guy, he pissed off the majority of the cast, except for one of the actors who was a very large drama queen, and he defended her, which pissed people off even more. He was half in the bag a lot of the times. He was boozing it up.
Wow.
Before rehearsals and attacking, on stage, he'd be walking around with a beer, or actually a wine cooler. And so there was all this, but the thing that really did it was 2 weeks into the run. I guess there's about one week left, and you got to understand, one of the actors was 16-year-old high school girl.
I saw the play.
Yeah, right. And she was great in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
she
good
really,
cast.
she helped carry it. And she wasn't getting paid.
No.
But she had entered into it because it was a good experience for her, and all her friends were going to be able to come and see the show.
Very sweet.
So the night that they were all there, 70 of them, waiting outside, the director decided he could actually make more money by selling those tickets to higher paying audience, and so he turned them all away.
Oh.
So this young girl who had worked her heart out to be in this show, and had given so much, then without any warning whatsoever, it was
cold-hearted,
so cold-hearted, and so unfair to someone who was really just beginning her journey into the theater world. Oh. And man, when I saw that, I was just like, that, because we're not talking big market here, right? We're talking non-union theater in Boston.
Has he directed any plays?
Oh yeah,
since?
Sure. Since then, he's done several. Some with very young cast about sexual
awakenings.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that show,
and man, I heard some stories about him on that as well. But I wasn't in that play, so.
Well, I hope that's a one-time experience for you.
Oh, it definitely was a one-time experience in terms of working with that guy.
All right, so. Do you blame the whole theater world for that experience, or was that?
Of course not.
Okay.
No, just like no, not at all. I do think because it takes so much to support a production and get something going. Yeah. Like I said before, it is.
It's open for people who have
it's vulnerable, to people to abuse it and to abuse actors. But no, there's a lot of good people, a lot of good directors, and when those good people get together, you see good work.
I guess. I've heard stories, maybe more in New York, Susan, you maybe can comment on this, that a lot of the off-Broadway plays now have a lot of nudity in them. That's how they're trying to sell tickets. And the notion that, mom and dad pay $200,000 for their daughter to get a theater arts education, and she goes down to New York, waits tables, and then gets naked on a stage, that's kind of heartbreaking to me. I mean, are those stories true?
They are, but they're not that common.
No, they're not that common, I don't think. No. And I mean, I think the theater has enough problems on its own without making up lies about it, actually. Misconceptions.
Let me have my fantasies. But I guess, what is the state of theater in New York right now?
Theater's dead in New York.
Why would you? Why?
Because basically you have to be a TV star to get cast on Broadway.
Ooh.
It's commercial. It's incredibly commercial.
Okay.
I mean, right now, and even the fact that you have to have a star, basically, to star in a show in order to get people in the seats.
All right. Well, I'm going to call you on this because you're painting a grim picture, right? You are. And in fact, we have a playwright in this room who has been produced on the New York stage. Her work was produced on the New York stage. And Susan, in fact, that was you.
Yes, it was me.
What was your play that was produced in New York?
It is called If You Are My Soulmate, Why Are You Such an Asshole?
I see.
It's a comedy.
Okay.
I called it
I thought it was a gay story.
I know. I billed it as Sex and the City meets Star Wars. So
was it futuristic?
No, it's very Star Wars themed.
Oh, and did the woman turn the asshole into a human being?
No, the asshole stays the same. Okay, but it's based on real life, loosely based, as Woody Allen says sometimes. Okay. But yeah, loosely based on my life experience with one person who I, met several years ago, and we didn't speak for 11 years, and then we reconnected and kind of got back all the feelings that we had before, even though we didn't act on it. He's married, so but it was how he wasn't able to let me go and how I wasn't able to let him go until I really expanded, my world and moved, outside of my safety zone, basically.
I see.
And so the plays are more about like travel, basically how we get confined to one place. We don't really see outside of our circumstances till we, just get on a plane and go to a different country. Yeah. Then you realize the world is a much bigger place. And
just like Luke Skywalker,
there's a lot more possibilities out there. Exactly. You have to go to a galaxy far, far away.
No, was this a one-woman show?
This was not. No, I had 4 people. This was the short version. I wrote a full-length version later.
Wait, so you wrote a play, and is there a role that I might be right for in that
play?
There
really is, actually.
Really? Yeah. But you didn't call me?
Well, it was in New York, and you're in Boston right now.
Yeah, I got a 917 cell number.
I'll get it for you.
I think this is great. Actually, Susan, gives me a lot of hope hearing about your play, because I think one of the great things again about going to the theater is I think a lot of people walk around with just sort of their head, and they're not connected to themselves in any way, and like you're saying, they live in their small little orbit. Right. Yeah. And going to the theater and a live experience in your show is specifically about opening your eyes and opening your orbit. I think that's great.
Yeah, and I even had, what I thought was a very specific story that might be amusing to people. I had like women much older than me, and even men come to me and say how much they enjoyed it and related to it. So it
universal themes.
Yeah.
Was there nudity? No, sorry.
Well, if I can get more people in the seats, then we'll put it in there.
We'll work it in. No, I'm being a wild.
Gabe, are you willing to?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All set. Well, will it be performed again, do you foresee?
No, I'm working on another play.
Another play?
Yes.
I'll be excited to read it, and maybe I will even get an invite to the performance.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Actually, I think you did invite me.
I did.
All right.
You were busy
with your lady friend.
Okay. It's all love. It's all love, everyone. At this point, I would like to wrap up the show. I think that hopefully we've given theater a human face. It won't go the way of jazz or painting, lost art forms. Hopefully people will find a show and enjoy it. That's the thought I'll leave today with everyone. Any other comments before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to say, there's a lot of there's a stereotype about actors is about being a bunch of drama queens or egotists, and I'm sure there's people like that out there, definitely. But when someone's really doing it, when someone's really acting, and they've taken their own life and career in their hands to be a professional actor, and they're doing it with respect. Yeah, I mean, I just I think I personally have a lot of respect for someone like that. I think the general public really does too. Yeah. Because a lot of actors are out there doing things and taking risks that they wish they had the guts to do.
So let's give them a little respect, a little love, and let's go see them perform. All right, I'm right there with you. All right, let's close out, and we'll see everybody on the next show. Talk to you later. Bye now.